Thank you, Matt.
Well,
All right, we'll call the meeting to order at 4:50. Thank you for being here, everybody. Let's see, we've got the previous meeting minutes are linked in the document that I sent out earlier this week. Does anybody have any adjustments or see anything that needs to be changed, updated? All good? Okay, all right. Any changes or additions to the agenda? Nothing? Star? No?
No.
Okay,
No.
all right.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, really. I will talk about the art installations. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
Okay, great. Is interior or exterior?
Interior.
Okay, great. Perfect. All right, we will add that. Okay, we don't have members of the public here beyond those who are members of our committee. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. We just have these two standing items under the interior projects section of our agenda, which are the circulation desk doors, both upstairs and downstairs, and Lindsay's office. And Robin emailed me to say that she had a conflict today, so she won't be here. I'm not sure if anybody else has any updates. Those would really be Robin items, probably.
Right. I will say that, John Latronica was hoping to do the desk doors, for the circulation desk downstairs. I don't see any way that's gonna happen in the next 2 weeks. We can try and get him to come in at some point and work on them later, but I don't know.
Okay,
So we may need to look for somebody that we actually have to pay.
Let's free John up from that project. That seems reasonable. Okay. All right, no problem. Yeah, so we'll just leave these here and check in on next steps next time we meet.
Should we nudge
Mary yet
Lindsay's? I can nudge her again, and I mean, she won't respond to me, but maybe she'll visit Lindsay again and see. But she agreed she needed to replace the laminate too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
what's the person's name who did that work?
Mary McLaughlin.
There she. Okay, great.
There she is. Get in the back door.
Right. Yep.
we will just finally be remembering it, and then the front door will be closed. The back door will be open, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was talking with the children's desk staff last time I was here about that door being closed, and then promptly tried to go out the door after that conversation. I was like, this is just gonna take some time.
Lindsay, in terms of the door to your office, I don't know, I saw that, and I went in there one night when I was in there trying to do something and close it, and yeah, it's amazingly loud. And so is somebody been engaged or pursued to cut a hole in it and put a louver in or something? Is that the plan? It seems to me like that could work.
That was Robin's suggestion.
Yeah. And Robin was gonna talk to Pete about possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or finding something to do it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna. Okay, yeah.
no, I'm just gonna. I've taken the minutes for the first few items.
Good.
There's really not much, but I can
I
email.
can give you, or I can give you. the rest.
I pretty much have them
Yeah,
too, so,
yeah.
yeah, but across the three of us. Get it.
Maybe this is a job you wanted.
No, not this time around.
All right, so that's it for interior, but Star, do you want to talk about the art installation here?
Yes, so Billy Myers showed up out of the blue as he does. And he has reattached the dino tracks to this brick wall. Yay, he built a little wooden thing around the bottom of them, so it's sitting on that. He moved the mammoth tusk upstairs. And then yesterday he showed up out of the blue and as a surprise to me has vinyl letters that say woolly mammoth tusk and dinosaur tracks that he put on the wall along with information plaques. And he also did a lovely job restoring and reinstalling the William Morris Hunt horses. So, Flight of Night, and it looks fantastic.
Where are
in its
those?
new spot. It's on the mezzanine, just opposite the door to room B, and it looks fabulous.
Awesome.
It
You can
really,
see it from any place in the
Oh, that's
library.
great,
it
exciting.
really is really fantastic. So he forgot the information plaque that he had made to go with that, and he's gonna be bringing that around.
And sorry, who was that for the minutes?
Billy Myers,
Billy Myers.
Myers.
Great.
Yeah.
What's his position?
So he was the former conservation and curator, or conservationist for the Smith College Art Museum. And he also taught those courses there. And Howard Burroughs brought him to the library, so I'm always
So he
grateful.
just shows up and volunteers?
Well, no,
Time for
we
us
do
to
pay.
pay him,
I
okay.
insisted. That
Okay, I was gonna say,
oftentimes
this is-
he does volunteer.
But
Lots of times
that's
he
just like
shows up.
material intensive, some of
Yeah.
this stuff with the
And
dining.
really labor intensive, and he needed an assistant for both days that he was installing the heavy art. He
Okay,
needed two
great. Yeah,
people.
that makes
So he doesn't charge us nearly what he probably should. And he does do a lot of volunteer stuff, but I told him on this, really invoice me. We have money from selling the teacups and other
The
things.
fine.
Right, right.
That's exactly
Right.
what the fine art.
This,
Yeah.
Auction money
so,
is.
yeah, it's money well spent, and the dinosaur tracks look better than ever. I mean, I did find the rusty metal cable that had held them to the wall previously, that's in my office now, that, this is what they were held up with. And
Wow.
now they're, really stable and nicely placed on the wall. So,
I love where they are too.
Yeah.
That feels
Yeah.
really nice that they're nice and low.
yeah.
Perfect. Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Did you have any other things you wanted him to do, or you were thinking of him doing? Is that bulk of it?
That's the bulk of it. There are a couple small, pieces that I'm gonna try and get into hang up while you're here. As people always say to my husband when he's on
Yeah.
the job, while you're here, just,
Watch
do these
out.
things. So we do have a few other things that maybe he can do. And also, Kay Curtis donated two really nice pieces to us. One is in my office covering a bunch of holes that are in the plaster there, nicely placed. And then she also donated a wonderful print with the alphabet. And what I love about it is it's like page literacy, because you get down to the end of one and to L, and then you have to go back up to the next page to finish the alphabet. And it's nice and brightly colored. So we put that downstairs because people always say, gosh, you don't have a children's room. There's no children's room. So we put it downstairs, and then Kate on our staff made a wonderful, bright, swirly arrow that says children's room at the top of the stairs.
great.
That's great.
Yeah.
And people still stop at the mezzanine and say, but where is the children's room? So I asked her to please make another one further.
Keep going.
Just keep going. Yeah.
Yes, don't stop.
Stay on
Makes
target.
sense. Yeah.
And the other thing we did, which, finally after 10 years, it dawned on me, is to put labels in the elevator, at the elevator buttons. So you go in and you say, oh, children's room, that's where I
Yeah.
should push.
Well,
And,
children were not allowed on there.
Well, that's true, but they're grown-ups at least now, know which button to push. And then, it says, for the mezzanine nonfiction, 0 to 7.99. And downstairs fiction.
And I was in there one day and there were like indicators of where the bathrooms were, and then they were not the next time.
Don't know. I think somebody
Some
must have taken
knucklehead.
them. Yes, some knucklehead took those restroom
I
stickers.
really wanted some restroom signs for my elevator at home.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Having a big party, I really know where they are in the house,
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll
Weird.
have to ask her to make some new ones and.
Oh, did Julia make those?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah, I
Yeah.
thought for sure that they were, I mean, I didn't look at them closely, but I thought they were been bought.
Yeah.
Nice. Great.
So,
Well,
good.
smart idea.
Yeah.
Gavin, do you have any questions or anything you want to talk about regarding any of these interior projects before we go on to exterior?
I think I'm good. Yeah. Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, awesome. Okay. So let's talk about the
So
bowling
I
program.
missed the doors and Lindsay's office, right, so. It's all taken care of.
No, nothing's been done.
Nothing's been done. This is we're
But
gonna
the
hold on to
notes-
this for
the
next
notes
meeting.
forever.
The notes have been taken.
Yes.
Yeah. Forever.
I thought, goodness, I must have missed at least 30 minutes.
That was the kicking the can down the road section of
Yeah.
the agenda. Right. Okay, perfect. So exterior projects. I guess Circa is the only new to the committee, person here today.
And I received the updates on the board
Yeah.
from you guys, so I don't feel like.
Yeah, so, we may not need that agenda item. I think everybody else who's here has a good sense of, what's going on, so we'll hold that. I did though, even just for my own clarity, want to talk about this second bullet point, because I think this is something, of course, it's really important as we transition, from Star being here, and also just for the rest of us and for me to know, like, what is our responsibility as a committee here? And, Star, I'm really gonna, direct this question to you, like, when you think about the committee's main functions, if we were just gonna go like top three, what we should be paying attention to and focusing on over the next couple of months while we're like deep in this process, like what is that?
I'm really,
for us?
I'm so glad you're bringing this up, Nikki, and realizing that it's a conversation that I'm kind of wishing we had had 2 years ago when we first started even thinking about this process. Because I'm realizing that when I was chairing this committee, it was never really clear to me, and it never occurred to me to ask for that, or maybe we talked about it and need to talk about it again, but in any case, I'm very glad that you're bringing it up.
Thanks. For that.
And I think also, Star, you can think back to the other big project, the buildings and grounds, and what their responsibility was back then. I think when we did the interior reno.
And that's part of why I was asking too, because I know we had a little bit of trepidation going into this project based on our experience with the previous one. But of course, there is a big difference that we have a project manager this time. So that changes the scenario a lot, but there are definitely things I'm sure that we learned from that process that we still, want to have an eye on. But yeah, Star, if you can kind of give us the big picture of what you think the committee should be focused on.
So one of the things that will be happening is bi-weekly meetings, update meetings, and we will be having one of those Monday at 9:00.
Okay.
And that will be with the contractor, the general contractor, and the project manager and DPW. So if somebody from this committee, Matt will be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, but if other people want to be there, committee members, board members, or, Lindsay, I don't know whether you're,
When do those happen, Star?
the very first one is going to be Monday.
The
By-
ongoing
we have
schedule
a-
isn't completely set yet. They were proposing Thursday at 9, but that's when we have
That
our
doesn't work for
superintendent
us.
meeting, so yeah,
Okay,
I have to write back and say
okay. Is there a time for this Monday's? meeting?
9:00.
9:00, okay.
And probably in here, you think, this room, or?
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So that will be when the contractor brings us up to date, when the project manager brings us up to date on the progress of the whole project. So one of the things that happened last time was this committee also kept an eye on the finances. And I did talk about the spreadsheet that Anna has put together. I printed out some this time. Let's see. I'll give you another one, Elizabeth. If you wanna.
Star, quick question while you're passing those out to those bi-weekly meetings, is the focus of those meetings on the timeline, like the work process, or is it also a financial meeting?
No, this is on the work process.
It's just the
Yeah,
work
Good
process.
question.
Okay.
Yeah. Although, if something happens and
Yeah.
that will be, that will have a financial.
Right,
impact.
sure. That might be where that surfaces,
Mhm.
but it's not the focus of
Right,
the
yeah,
conversation.
it's to keep us informed of the progress and whether it's on time and whether it's on track. So.
Changes need to be made.
Mhm.
Go follow the wonderful stuff.
So that's one thing, is just to, just to stay up to date on the progress of the project.
Mhm.
And then, there are the finances, because there may be decisions that have to be made about, scaling back. And that's what, when we met with the state librarian, she said, really let go of things that you don't have to do if it looks like you're going to be over budget. So the most important thing is the access, the physical access, which is what we stressed. The solar is being taken care of by different funds, because
Mhm.
otherwise she was going to say, let go of that. And let go of the.
She did basically, and we're able to say, done.
Exactly. The other recommendation she made was that, if we're running out of money, don't get the generator, because we could pick that up someplace else, somehow else. Also, something to consider letting go of until another time, or another funding opportunity, would be the canopy over the back door.
So that list, I think I missed one. So the generator could go, the canopy is like, lower down. Was there something above
Canopy
generator?
is at that level.
But,
So-
right, but generator would go first, then canopy, right?
Right.
But was there something else?
Well, we talked about the solar.
The solar, but
yeah.
it's separate. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So just
Yeah.
those two are kind of the top on the list if we.
And I'm
start to
gonna
get-
say the signage would fall into that too.
Yeah,
As part of like it's separate, but yeah.
right, that
Yeah.
it's, these are pluses, they're not the essential of the grant. The
Mhm.
essential of the grant, the access and the exterior space for people to expand usage. So, so those things, and so those are decisions that this committee might have to come together and make,
Or
Make
provide to the
choices.
board.
right. But really, those decisions are things that this committee might have to make in concert with the project manager.
Yeah, so tell us more about like what is the actual like decision-making hierarchy? So we find out we're like $10,000 short. Okay, now what? Like who decides what and where do we fall in that process?
This committee should decide.
So this committee is the deciding, like
Right,
this is the
in concert
priority.
with the project manager,
Okay.
in consultation with the project manager, under his
Project manager is
advice.
just a higher person. He's
Right.
not a decision maker.
Right,
Mhm.
he would advise this committee.
Yeah, he might be able to say, you can't really cut that, because,
Right.
It will affect
Yeah,
this.
right,
Yeah.
but, and maybe I'd recommend this, if,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, but yeah, right.
Definitely, this committee is the decision making committee.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, great. That's super helpful. Okay, so on my list, I have these two central functions, staying up to date in terms of the work process, and keeping an eye on the finances and making decisions as decisions need to be made. Is there anything else that you see
You
as
say stay up to date
central?
too, it's attending meetings.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then somebody from the board or it should also be able to submit invoices for reimbursement. So we found out we can have two people, so certainly the new director, but also somebody from, I'm thinking from this committee or an officer of the board should be able to submit the invoices for reimbursement. Scott, the project manager, will do he'll assess the requisitions monthly from the construction company. And then after he's signed off on them,
so give them to Anna.
he'll give them to Anna, who will pay them, or who will submit them for payment. And then once they've been paid and the check cleared, which I would assume would be pretty quick, we can submit once monthly they asked that all the invoices be submitted in a batch.
Okay,
In the state, I think when we met with the state, we talked about like the 10th of the month or so. 10th
But
to
there's,
15th.
yeah, it can be whenever, yeah.
Right,
So,
but it's just
yeah.
because of the timing that we have to pay GP, getting it from GPI, and then, they have to submit it to the state by the end of they have to submit it to the federal government by the month end. So they get reimbursed.
so given, not waiting until the
You know,
28th or something.
They don't,
Yeah,
yeah.
so middle
She
of
did
the
not
month
want
would be
that.
better. Okay.
And I
Yeah, but-
offered to shadow Star. The Star's been like out straight, so.
Are there any issues with, like the library's town advancing money basically for any of this? Like, is there, a huge bill comes in?
I haven't, there's been no indication of
Okay.
that. There was some talk early on about getting a line of credit, but that doesn't,
You haven't heard about
no,
that since? Okay.
nobody's mentioned that.
Who-
That was
who-
Steve Horton mentioned that to me,
Yeah,
so that was
yeah.
a long time ago.
Are there, how is town higher level management being kept in the loop about this stuff? To what degree? Like, I mean, obviously Pete's DPW, that helps there, but like,
Right.
is John Potter wanting or getting any kind of updates as things go along, or just happy to hear if we run into something that he needs to know about?
Yeah.
Okay,
He signs the contracts.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And and then the select board, the select board has to approve us contracting
right.
with, every time we do that.
And
So-
so suppose, I would guess, presumably the select board or John or somebody could ask for an update at some point
Absolutely.
and hopefully give us time to put it together and everything. Like, if we're having these
Right.
bi-weekly meetings, we should know. Yeah, and have a little bit of time to, okay.
Right, also the planning department has been very involved in
Right.
it, and Brian Bannon, so he can help us as well.
Great.
Anna's got a great spreadsheet going. She really
So
does.
here's my sense about our cadence, and we don't need to like figure out the exact like day and time right now, but my feeling is that, okay, so probably many of us could not make a 9 o'clock Monday morning meeting, so that is, one person, maybe somebody who's here, that'd be awesome, but we will probably wanna be as close as possible to that, I'm thinking, so like if we could do maybe a Monday afternoon or a Tuesday afternoon and just try to scoot up a little bit closer to those meetings, so whoever is like the liaison to that 9 o'clock meeting could then update the rest of us at, a Monday or Tuesday afternoon, and we go on the same cadence, we go bi-weekly on the same weeks.
As like
that
full
they
committee
meet.
meetings,
As full committee.
but try to make
meetings.
them probably shorter and.
Yeah,
mostly
exactly. We
be-
just,
yes.
we keep, and especially like while this project is happening, I'm thinking we just like, we can have a parking lot of topics to deal with when we're done with this, but we'll just put them on a document and save them for later. And we just go, okay,
It's mostly about.
these are, how's the timeline, how's the money, and we do 45 minutes and we're good, or, whatever it is that we need to do. But does that make sense to
Yeah.
people? Okay, so we'll wait and to set that until they set the regular meeting. So whatever the regular meeting ends up being, we'll try to scoot our full committee meeting to right within the next day or so of that.
Maybe I misunderstood. I thought the regular meetings start Monday at 9.
No, so Monday at 9 is the first meeting with the contractors
Okay,
for the
so it's not
process,
the
but
regular.
we don't have a set regular time for it yet, because the one that most people were leaning towards doesn't work for staff.
So, and I think that somebody from that meeting, whether we ask Scott to do it or a staff member to do it or the new director to do it, should have some minutes from it, some notes from it.
Yeah.
They don't have to be as formal as minutes, but some notes.
Yeah, well,
That could be distributed.
Yeah, I'm logged into, I got a login invite from GPI to their project planning system, and I don't know, but sure there are things I can't see or whatever, but and I don't know really quite yet what is there. I'm sort of exploring, but like I saw it, Monday's meeting is in there.
Oh, great.
It has an agenda. And it says like waiting for minutes, so, at least that system they're using expects a lot of this, and clearly, Anthony or whoever's putting in an agenda. So I would expect there will be, minutes as well.
Right.
But, till, maybe it's a question I could try to remember to ask on Monday, you know, because I think you're right, Sarah, us having our own little set of, right, those are the high points to make the committee aware of. Is there anything the committee needs to take action on?
Well, that'll even like, you know, that can help inform our cadence, cause
Yeah.
if they need 24 hours to get some minutes for us, you know, and they wanna have the formal minutes, and we can, you know, we could wait.
And also,
until
I don't know if the minutes of those meetings would be public record. I don't
Yeah.
know how that
Yeah.
works. So, you know, there might be,
Yeah, good questions. Okay, great. So we'll sort of figure that out once that Monday meeting happens, and, you know, when you all will maybe just communicate with me, whoever is in that meeting, and let me know when the regular ones are, and then I will reach out to the rest of the committee and do a quick like poll and see when people are available.
Is that saying that we changed the meeting to a different day from
Probably.
Wednesdays? Yeah.
Probably, you know, depending on how, you know, how things shake out with these guys, but yeah, and the big change being that we have a shorter meeting every other week
Yeah.
instead of doing a long meeting once a month.
And I think we talked about that a couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, we did.
do you, the committee, want to try to meet after Monday's meeting, even though it won't be at our regular new time or whatever, like to sort of even just to be a trial of what we want to do? Is that too soon to try to meet? Like, I don't know if even the next construction meeting is planned to be 2 weeks
Right,
approximately, or it's like that was when we wanted to make the first one. And at that meeting, we find out it might even be the next week, you know,
Right.
or whatever. So, you know, it might not be too long before a second meeting where we might reconvene this committee later in the day, like you're talking about. But what do we think?
yeah, good question.
So if you're asking whether we would want to meet next week as soon as possible.
Could
After
we,
the
could we
first
do a
meeting.
touch base
Yeah.
just as like not that we're gonna do that every week, but should we do, you know, a half hour on Monday afternoon after that meeting?
What's the date on Monday?
That's the 27th, right? That's
Mhm.
27th.
I could do that Monday afternoon.
And I believe I can, and like I said, I'm definitely gonna be at the 9 o'clock meeting.
Yeah, I can do, Monday. Let's do that just to kind of stay on top of things, and.
I do normally leave at 4:30 on Mondays, but I don't have anything at the moment that is coming up. You know, like in the evening on Mondays, that's ending now. The Cameron is having its concert, so so like I can certainly stay till like, if we want to do, if 4:30 or 4:45 is the time that works for people. I don't know, Lindsay.
And Monday, I have to work the night shift to cover, so I'm gonna be the only one in the children's room after 5 o'clock.
Okay, so can we scoot a little earlier this coming Monday?
I can.
Can? Did you
Yeah,
say?
very
Yeah.
flexible.
4:30.
Can we, do you wanna do 4 so that we
I
can
don't-
finish
I
it before the end of your workday?
I don't mind, honestly.
Let's do, if
4 o'clock.
people can do 4, I can do 4 this week. I can't usually do 4, but.
And like I said, maybe one of the main things we can get out of this touch base is if they've established a regular
Yeah,
schedule
yeah,
and try to
we
figure
can
out
get
how
it.
we're gonna work, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So Monday,
now that's gonna have to be a warned meeting, Star, I would assume. It's a meeting of the committee.
good point.
I think, do we have time to do it if we're,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
yeah, so, yeah.
It's only Wednesday.
Yeah,
Actually, thank you. I have no idea what day
I
it
know.
is. So-
but I'll just warn it after this meeting. I'll just
Thanks.
sit here and warn it. Okay.
Great.
Okay, all right, great, okay, that's good, all right, so we'll do that on Monday at 4 o'clock.
I'm trying to see if I can find room, whether the room's available and stuff.
Oh,
right now.
yes, thank you.
Well, I'm sure we'll be able to find a space,
Yeah.
one way or the other, but
You can just email me if you don't find it before we're done, today.
thank you.
Okay, great, all right, so then I think the only thing that's still on this list is the submitting invoices for reimbursement. We need someone to do that. Anne, were you saying that you are potentially able to
Yeah.
take on that role? Is
Yeah.
that, okay, all right, that'd be amazing. Awesome. Okay. Perfect.
So the other thing I have actually is tomorrow at 2 p.m. so the bid for the front, or not the front, the bid for the canopies and the asbestos and the windows and everything kept getting pushed because there would be a question, so then the question would have to be answered, sent to everybody, and then an
okay.
extension. So those bid openings are gonna happen at 2 p.m. tomorrow,
Okay,
at the municipal center. Is there anyone on this committee that can come with me?
I thought it
And-
was Friday,
I thought it was Friday too, but I double checked and it's
2
tomorrow.
p.m.
2
tomorrow.
p.m., yeah. Yeah,
That's happens to be a time that I have another meeting. I can't.
I'll see, I don't have my calendar in front of me.
I think, Star, I'm available, if you don't mind me tagging along and. or
that
if,
would be.
Okay, so that's
Thank you.
opening the bids next door.
Mhm.
John's office.
Yeah, town manager's office, that suite up there. And Scott will be there. And I'll see if I can get Pete to come.
Star, can you tell us a little bit about what that is? Like, I don't,
Sure.
yeah, what happens?
So what happens is hopefully we get several bids, because we want to have at least two, preferably three. That arrive in sealed envelopes. They don't get opened before that, and they don't get opened after. If they come in at 2:15, they're out of luck. So they get opened at 2 o'clock. They have to be in the office by 2 o'clock, and then we open them in front of a lot of people, or not a lot of people, in front of
It's
several
a public
people.
process.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that everybody sees that we're opening the bids, these are the amounts. And then what I do is, because, you know, I want to make sure that somebody hasn't left off. If somebody's $50,000 under, then I need to make sure that they haven't left off something important. So I asked Scott to make sure that they haven't left off something important.
Okay.
And he goes over them with a fine tooth comb, often with SVE, which is the engineering firm, to make sure that they covered everything, and they do what they call a bid tabulation.
Okay.
SBE will be there.
They're not usually there when
But Scott will
bids
be
come
there.
in, yeah. And then, so they do a bid tabulation, and then that helps, when it comes to the value engineering. So if they say, okay, well, we're doing the bid tabulation and the asbestos is gonna cost this much, and the windows are gonna cost this much, and the canopies are gonna cost this much, and Scott says, okay, well, we're gonna be over budget, so let's pull the canopies because they're gonna cost this much, because then we know what that unit will cost.
Right, okay.
So he does that, he doesn't do that right then and there, he
No.
does it.
Yeah, it
Okay.
takes it, and that does it. But we have a form that I fill out. I say who submitted bids, who was in attendance, things like that.
So when we meet on Monday, we can,
Yes.
we'll
we
have
will
an
know.
update.
We will have an update.
okay.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You mentioned bids, so we're still receiving bids for work for this project
Uh-huh.
at the end of April?
Yeah.
What bids have we received for the work so far?
Well, so we've received everything for the hardscape and, you know, for, all of the excavation and, building out the concrete. And so these bids are for encapsulating the asbestos, creating the canopies, and the interior, security door, redesigning and rebuilding the windows in the children's room. Am I missing anything?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Is that, thanks, Star. Is there a, I don't know, a spreadsheet or something that's tracking all this somewhere that we have access to? Because that would be helpful. Or is aside from you telling us, like, is there a document we can reference to look at this stuff?
So Scott prepared a timeline.
And we have access to that timeline?
How about the bid request? Maybe if Gavin saw the bid request or the RFP, whatever they call it. that was
Yeah,
sent out to
the
you.
invitation for bid. Let me see, we don't have them, I know. Matt and I have talked about making a folder. We don't have them all in an electronic folder. But I can see what documents I can pull together for you, Gavin, and send those. And then that's one of the things that I'm hoping to somehow magically make happen in the next 2 weeks. So,
And I think there is a folder that's been made in the Google Drive
Mhm.
of the account that like owns the library's business listing with Google, which is also where the Board of Trustees folder is. I still don't quite know how we can share that with committee members appropriately without potentially making stuff visible to anybody who has the link to it. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's not been more broadly disseminated. I can share it with folks who have a Google account or who are able to sign up for one using their own email address, because Google will let you do that. Technically, you can sign up for a Google account using your own email, and then they just don't make a Gmail account as part of it. But you kind of have to have a Google account to have a Google Drive folder shared with you with the full set of like controls, right? So I think right now that folder, which hasn't been, advertised even among the committee, it's set so that anybody with the link to it could view it. But the problem is then if that link gets sort of out by accident, right, then anything in there is viewable by anybody on the internet, which I don't think is what we want, right?
We could adjust that, if it's Google Drive and just give access to the committee members.
Yeah, but the problem is I need Google account information for all the committee members. So I
Yeah.
think that's where we're at, right? There is a place, probably the stuff in it is not up to date yet. If you have a Google account, whether it's with a Gmail address or your own email address that you've set up with them, and you can get it to us, I can share that folder with people so that we can view what's in there. It's definitely gonna need, like I said, some, TLC to get the right stuff in there, to get it organized in a way that people can find
Do
what
you
you
wanna,
want to see.
Matt, why don't you share that with me, now, and then I can sort of
Yes.
take a look at it and come back on Monday, and we can look at it together and see like
Great.
what's missing, or do we need to update things?
And I will say, anybody who doesn't have that kind of account, and
Gavin.
did I just minimize it?
There he is.
I think, okay. I think I minimized it somehow. Anybody who doesn't have one of those accounts, and doesn't, would like some help setting one up, I can do that sometime, not in a committee meeting. It's part of my job after all, but
Okay.
But I understand what you're asking, Gavin, too, and I think that's one of the goals we really need to set as a committee, is to work towards that.
Okay.
I just don't think we rely upon Scott, the project manager, and the guy's got 50 projects out there right now. I mean, told me he's
Right.
what?
But the only one we care about is this
And we're
one.
not paying him top dollar, to be absolutely honest.
That's okay. He can still give us information.
Right, he can still give us information. I think also this, what Star passed around here, you probably don't have a copy. Might be helpful if we understand that a little bit too. But yeah, it's something we need to get a little bit of a handle on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to overcomplicate it. I just want to be able to, just check on where we are with, the bids and which contractors have been selected, the schedule, just basic information. That could all be on one spreadsheet that comes from the town or the PM, whoever.
Well, it makes sense. There are a lot of moving parts, and I think we knew coming into it that we were going to be doing this in phases, that not all of the bids would be happening at the same time. But it does kind of feel like having a little bit more of concrete ways tracking would be helpful.
absolutely.
I mean, all it's gonna take is one curveball. That curveball costs us an extra 100,000 and we'll budget.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, great. So I think we have a process for this anyway, and I like the idea of, yeah, just kind of getting our ducks in a row in terms of our own. Now is the time to do it, because if we have anything that we need from Star, let's ask. That's now.
And like I said, people have my phone number.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to talk about this.
We'll just try not to keep you full-time employed,
Thank you.
after.
Thank you.
And I, regarding like this, the bids are being opened, I think you're absolutely, because that whatever was in the
Yeah.
request, right, will be a great way for us to know what they've bid on and,
Mhm.
and then there might be specifics in the response that's selected that, we'd want to keep track of as well, right, that kind of thing,
But yeah, that information is out there. We just need to have a copy of it handy.
yeah.
So when people, when they get the invitation to bid, and then they contact Scott for more information. And then the bid packets are fairly huge. The bid packets for the hardscape, I think, I think the people that were bidding on it could come and see it here. And it was a fat book and a big roll
Yeah.
of plans.
18, 20 drawings plus then many
And-
pages of specifics.
Interesting.
Right, and then when they so they could get that, they could come and see it here, or they could come and go see it at SVE, or they could see it at DPW. And then or if they wanted their own copy, they could purchase one for $150.
Wow.
And then if they returned it in good condition, they'd get $75 back. So, I mean, so that's the kind of information that's in this kind of
Okay.
request for bids. So it's not just, tell us, what you,
Yeah.
what you think this will cost.
I don't know whether, there'd be somebody who could try to skim through and make a summary, that would be, appropriate for us just keeping it in our heads, what's involved. Or if there's already sort of an overview at the beginning of the plan. I did not read the plan document for the hardscaping because it was 150 pages long or whatever. like,
Yeah, that's what I was
technical, so.
thinking, if there's a cover
Yeah.
sheet that
There's
just
gotta
has
be-
an overview.
I can't believe that there isn't some already written,
Yeah,
this is the highlights at least
Yeah.
of what's in each of these bids, out there. It's just a matter of like,
Well, when they submit the bids, then, that it's not 150
Yeah, right.
pages.
So
But, you could see that kind of tabulation.
and once the bid's been selected, right, that could be added to this, folder, whatever, so.
so is there any additional bids that you think will be needed, assuming that we don't do the generator?
Well, I don't think so. I do have it, we've been asked to look at signage, and we had somebody come in and give us a signage proposal, so I printed that off.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's under $10,000, so that's good. So it doesn't have to go out to bid. And it's great because in our budget for the project, we put $35,000 in, and it came in at 6,400, so that's good. But I don't think that there'll be any more bids going on, but also I'm not the
That's-
project manager, so.
Yeah, and that's, I was gonna say, and that's also contingent on that there's no developments that pop up.
Yeah.
Like that skeleton, more dinosaur bones.
we'll just add them to the
Yeah.
display and move on. Okay, all right, so can we only have a couple of items left, but they're big ones. So, Star, I don't know how much of these next two, the updates, what's happened basically since groundbreak, and then any kind of timeline updates. We could just push those items to Monday.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'm I don't know why there's nobody out there digging right now. But
It has been a bit curious that I've not seen people more
Yeah.
often. It does seem like there's clearly work being done probably before I get here, but it does seem like they must be knocking
finishing
off a
something
lot
up.
earlier, in the day. But I mean, like, so I can tell you that I can see that they've started making the form for the semicircle for the area that's gonna be right on your right as you leave the back entrance here, down in that pit that they've dug. You know, I could see from the staff lounge looking out the window, you know, the beginning of the first level of the form. Very deep footing, which I'm sure is good, but yeah, like, I mean, I've never been involved in the kind of hardscaping part of a project like this, so, yeah,
Yes,
and see rebar going into the, like, you know, they've already delivered some rebar and stuff like that, and that wasn't here yesterday, I'm pretty sure, so.
Okay.
so, yeah, so I think, my guess is maybe they've got another project going too, and they're, you know, balancing their time, but hopefully we'll have, news for that on Monday.
Great.
So, just one last thing for me. So when we do have an executed contract, I'm assuming we have a schedule in that contract as well?
Yeah,
Excellent.
Okay, then I think we have two remaining pieces. Do you want to share with us, Star, about the signage?
well, so we, Robin and I met with the guy that, I can't remember, somebody recommended that there. We came back with, you know, with the, feedback from, that we had from the group, that we'd like to have like a shingle sign, you know, one that's sticking out, and one that lights up. And this is what he came back with. It's just the first volley. It doesn't, you know, I was talking to Anne, you know, it's a little high contrasty for me. But it does sort of suit the age of the building, and it is highly visible. I mean, it would really, you would really see that this was a library.
Yeah, my first reaction, because I'm seeing it here today, you know, I'm sure that there are things I could find to, but I like it pretty well, so I guess let me be short, quick.
Yeah, my first reaction was the same as yours, that it seems, it kind of hit me, it seemed quite high contrast. But then I thought, why is that a problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we really need to overcome at the moment is
Yeah.
there's no, you know,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Might be a bit of a shock at first, but.
Yeah, that might not be a bad thing.
right,
I mean, it's gonna be internally illuminated with LEDs.
yeah.
So no matter what, it's gonna be bright.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
So Robin was gonna check to make sure that it complied with the dimensions that in the sign ordinance. Because you can only have certain certain dimensions, and some, if your sign is flat, some if your sign sticks out, so just.
So keep in mind, we would need a permit.
Yeah.
For the sign, we'd have to go to the town.
If we make it just say T though, then we can make it as big as we want. The Panda North sign that was left over from when it used to say steak, and then they turned off the letters and had to just say T for years. Because the sign was, you know, they were allowed to keep it. And so having it say T, that, you know, we were like, well, that kind of goes with the Chinese restaurant, I guess must have been their thinking. I always thought it was very, so.
Is there signage for the back as part of this grant work? Is it in the canopy?
No,
budget?
we did, we talked about it, but we're so concerned about cost at this point that that's something we could add later.
Okay,
We were
okay,
gonna
yeah, I can
do-
remember.
Signage off the lights, if I recall. We're gonna do something with the
Like
lights.
stanchions.
Yeah, I mean, almost a little bit like,
Yeah.
you know, sticking off from the pole,
Yeah.
you know, in some form, we
Yeah.
definitely talked about, because like, you know, sometimes you see those ones that have like a crossbar at the top and you can
Yeah.
have something that's either cloth or whatever. You know,
Okay,
but I think
for
it
a
was-
later date.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So do we have any action items around this at this point?
I think this would be something that would go, well, number one, it's gonna be, you guys said, Robin's gonna check with the planning, the ordinance. Then we probably bring it before the board and just see their opinion. But right now, I'm gonna say we can't move forward till we know dollars. As far as the bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay, so eventually we'll bring it to the board and make sure that they like the idea, but we don't need to yet, essentially.
And am I right in thinking that, so we're just not gonna talk about specifics of feedback on this for the moment, because we wanna know whether it's even allowable, and then if we,
If
that-
we have
that-
the money to do it.
and yeah, that too, right, yeah, so.
I do have to say that in 6 years of talking about signage, this is by far the farthest we've been.
An actual image of a sign.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see it.
Should we have a vote?
Great. Gavin, I did email the image to you. I don't know if you saw that, come through.
Sorry, what you emailed the what now?
I emailed this, the image. Ann had sent that to me earlier, so I emailed it to you.
Oh,
Of
okay,
this.
great. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
And I'd just like to say, in terms of schedule and everything, I did find some more information in the Procore management site that GPI gave me access to, but I need to check with Anthony about, exactly what's shareable or whatever, but, I'm, pretty confident we can get good information that, more than just a summary at one of these meetings. If somebody like Gavin in particular wants to really look through things, just like I said, I want to make sure what Anthony says is okay to share with the committee or
Yeah,
whatever before,
that's great.
before just downloading it.
Good call. Awesome. Okay, then we have this, this packet to discuss, which I think is our last item here.
Yeah, and there's no real change, no significant change, since,
Are these
since the
something you
last.
keep or something, or something?
Anna's keeping this.
Was that sent around electronically,
No.
Star?
I
Okay.
don't believe it was.
I'm gonna say one thing, so
Mhm.
just because I'm a loud mouth, so the bid is at 1472501. So we've just gotta be conscientious when this next bid comes in. That we really shouldn't be over 1472501. That's what the actual award is.
Mhm.
Down here, we've got a total award is 1650, but that's with contingencies. And there's a whole nother process when we start hitting the contingencies. I think contingencies was 170. I got to look, but
Star,
whatever.
do you know, like the GPI bid that's been awarded, or the bid that's been awarded to GPI, does that have contingencies built into it as well?
Not that I'm aware
Okay,
of. I think, we would have to do change orders and
Right.
things like that.
Right.
But.
And that's what Scott, I think, said.
Yeah.
If something comes up and we have to do a change.
yeah,
No, it's not in that bid. It's
Yeah.
gonna cost us extra.
Yeah.
makes sense, I just didn't know.
No.
In some ways, it'd be nice if there.
I
were
asked
double
the same question.
contingencies, but
Yeah.
On the again, right.
Yeah. And again, we do have this contingency. We just have to, we have to finish out the first award, then go in and request the contingency, but the contingency is there waiting for us. So, and then if some people don't use their grant money, there might be even more money.
That's true. She did say that.
Yeah.
So,
You mean other projects?
Yeah, because there were 14 projects.
so wait, there's contingency money that's held by the state, that's
Yes.
not part of what we were awarded, or is
It's
part
like
of what
not
we
in
awarded, but yeah.
pocket, right?
But do we have our own contingency as well of the funds that like we control
So,
directly?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
I think the answer
Yeah,
is no, right?
we built into the budget some contingency.
Yeah.
They awarded what we asked for. And we had put a little cushion in there. It wasn't nearly as much as we got awarded. And then, so that was already built into our budget. But things have gone, so it have increased in price so much in the last 3 years, as we all know. And then the state, when they awarded us, even though we had built in a little bit of contingency, it added on
Mhm.
like 170, I think.
Can I glance at a copy?
So,
So
that's,
that
yeah.
10%,
Yeah.
the 130 is the amount from the state.
I thought that,
No.
no.
1472 501 is the amount without the contingency. The
Good.
contingency is I'm gonna-
Uh-huh.
160,000, and it brought it up to,
Yeah, it adds up to one, it adds up to 160.
yeah, it brought it up to 1650. So the contingency is whatever the difference is between the 1650 and 1472.
And the
So-
1472 is not on this spreadsheet, right?
Right,
Right, so 1472, we just spend and submit for reimbursement to the state, right? And then that extra bit, we have to go to the state and say, we're running into our contingency, this is what we're proposing to use this amount for out of that contingency, and they say, okay,
yes.
yeah or not, right, but so that, or like that's, it's a little extra guarded, right, so we can't just burn through it ourselves by just,
Right,
Okay.
we
We
need
can't consider
to
it just part of the grant.
acknowledge, yeah, we need
Yeah.
them to acknowledge that now we're moving into the
yeah,
contingency.
it's a little
But
extra
It
safety.
was, yeah, it was pretty, it was pretty much like, yes, that money's there for you,
But really make sure you've been planning.
Yeah.
And you're not just running into it because seemed fun to buy that extra thing.
Yeah.
that nice sound.
Exactly, yeah,
Darn. Okay,
thank you for that.
yeah, thank you
explanation.
for
I mean,
explaining that. That was helpful.
I think the great thing is that, we, and then the roof,
The roof came in under,
right, and that includes the condensing, moving and all the extra costs with that. So
yeah,
that's a good thing,
they're right.
and so we just need to see where the GPI in this next ends
Mhm.
up.
Yeah. Great. All right, does anybody else have any comments or questions about these documents?
This plus that, and then maybe plus the inflation factor as well. I think,
Lindsay,
yeah.
I just would like to ask you, window replacement, you had somebody come in and visit you and talk to you about windows. Was that somebody who's putting a bid out there?
Yeah, they're putting in a bid.
Okay,
So they came and looked at it and asked questions.
okay, so when, I think Buildings and Grounds Committee should be aware of it, when the windows start getting replaced for the children's room, they will have to shut down for a day or two. I can't remember.
Probably more than that. This person said that it would probably take 2 or 3 days to actually do the windows. And, everything would have to be moved away from the windows. So we would have to move thousands of books.
So we're gonna need to have a group of volunteers to help that department out.
Right, and all those books would have to just essentially be put in the middle of the children's room, so we wouldn't be able to be open.
So you need a day buffer on either side, yeah.
Maybe not a full day, but at least a few hours on
Yeah.
each side.
Yeah.
Where do you get those volunteers?
Yeah,
No, I mean,
Teenagers.
Can it come from like high school students?
I was gonna say.
We do have we do have teen volunteers that we can ask, yeah.
The credit or whatever.
Might be a new chapter might come in.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, they were wonderful with the books. They, oh my goodness.
yeah,
So
But I
once
do
we have a
think-
timeline for that or a general sense of when that might happen, we should, let's start recruiting folks.
And also, it is something where, we have to keep everything in order and there won't be a lot of room for a lot of people to be doing it, because then we'll be in each other's way.
Throw them out the
So-
window.
Another book sale.
It sounds like my recent move. Going from a bigger to a smaller place, too many people would have been a problem.
So the only thing I just thought of was the pocket park.
what about it?
So we have somebody starting to pull stuff out of the pocket
Yeah.
park.
Yes,
And my understanding is the tree has to be yanked out and planted again.
no. The tree warden said that the tree cannot be moved, but Leslie's gonna cut as many branches as she can off and try and reroot them.
Oh.
And, yeah, so,
The famous tree.
It can't be moved as in like it will not live,
right.
not like it
Like-
can't be moved, like we have to leave it there and
No.
work around it, right, yeah.
No, thank you for
won't
clarifying,
survive.
yes, it won't survive, being dug up and replanted.
That sounds like a reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the tree warden was fine with
The
it,
garden currently, the one that
the
if you,
little
In
garden,
the front,
yeah,
Front.
the one that,
no. That one's just gonna go.
do they know that?
I
yet?
don't. But the tree warden was fine with it, so,
Well, that whole section is part of phase
Yeah.
one, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything you want to add,
Well,
Taz?
I do,
Yes.
I can't be here on Monday afternoon, so somebody else would need to take my place.
so
Okay.
we need to find a different time to meet.
Okay, this Monday,
Certainly for next Monday, yeah,
we'll recruit, another note taker for,
so I have
Monday.
a, ongoing thing at 5 o'clock on Monday.
Okay, thanks for letting us know.
have booked this room for Monday
Perfect.
at, for, quarter of 4 till after we were likely to be done, so.
Perfect. Thank you very much for doing
no
that.
problem.
Okay, all right.
And Nikki, I did send you, I shared the folder with you now. Like I said, anybody, if you've got a Google account, send me the information, and we can share. Probably I will make, most shares will be view only, just to avoid, accidental,
Yeah.
things, but, we can, anybody who's willing and able and, to help organize, for example, and, we can certainly discuss. I'm happy to have people help with that, because Lord knows I'm not gonna be able to do that all myself, so.
So Matt, when you say send you the information, you mean?
Like, if you have a Gmail address, you can,
Just the Gmail.
that
address
will
is
be
enough.
enough, yeah.
It's on the invite, my emails.
That one, yeah, so that's great, anybody, is it, if I look at the meeting messages and you've got a Gmail address, is it okay to share with that?
Yes.
That,
Okay.
that
Yep.
one says thumbs up.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Definitely what it is now is a mess, mostly older stuff from the first round of trying to get the whole grant ready, so,
So who owns this, folder?
so it is owned by brooksml224@gmail.com.
So this is an internal to Brooks,
Yes,
drive. Okay,
Yeah.
so we could add a folder here. We can add our own stuff.
yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, great. Perfect. Thank you for sharing this with us.
no problem.
Okay, all right.
See you Monday.
Yeah, adjourned, 5:52.